Joining me now is Lori Turnbill, a political analyst. Lori, thanks as always for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
What are the Liberals hoping to have come out of this retreat?
Well, I mean, this is just a few weeks before they return to Parliament for the fall session, and I think, they're thinking about where they are in the polls. What are they going to do politically? How is this going to work with the NDP as they've got this continued confidence and supply agreement? But also, they're still the government, right? Even though we can see all of the polls that indicate they've got all kinds of things to worry about. Politically, they still have to manage an agenda. They still have to get things through Parliament. And as their agenda indicates, they're looking at a pretty significant decision that's going to happen in the U.S. this fall. And so they're thinking about how they're managing that relationship as well.
And that is a big unknown right now. The thing that we're talking about will likely see come out some kind of a housing mention. Is that enough to help turn their fortunes around?
No, I suspect not. I don't know that train can be reversed at this point. I think that probably the biggest thing that's affecting the Liberals' polling right now is voter fatigue. People are, they've been in government for, it'll be 10 years next year. People are looking around. People are, it's normal for people to want something fresh. This typically happens when a government is 8, 9 years old. And so I think even if they were trying to say things that are resonating with what people are worrying about, I think probably they're at a point where it's a big ask to ask Canadians to give them a fourth term. Now, that said, it doesn't mean that they won't have potential high points over the next year or so. It doesn't mean that they, can't make decisions that could potentially, make people feel better about them. But at the same time, I think, we've seen the summer go by and they didn't do anything massive after that by-election loss in Toronto. They didn't do anything massive to shift gears, no cabinet shuffle, obviously no leader shuffle, no different messaging, just kind of keeping things going. And so I'm not sure really at this point that Canadians are really listening all that hard to what the Liberals are saying.
And with the, you mentioned the cabinet shuffle. That was the one thing everybody was predicting. There was going to be a big cabinet shuffle, and it looks like nothing's going to happen before they head back to Ottawa.
Yeah, I mean, if it was going to happen, I think we'd know it by now. And there was speculation about whether Mark Carney was going to come in, what role he might play, how that would work, given the fact that Freeland is, still there as finance minister. And there was a bit of mumbling about what could potentially be happening, whether the prime minister had lost confidence in her. But none of that has happened. Like, the summer has kind of just gone by with the prime minister having I think, quieter conversations around the country. He's doing a lot of traveling, I assume talking to caucus members, because this is a cabinet retreat that's happening today over the next couple of days. I think where, it's going to get a little bit more uncomfortable for the prime minister is during a caucus retreat, where the caucus members are coming and saying, we've got to hit the campaign trail sometime in the next year or so and go and ask people for a vote again, when it just doesn't seem like we've done anything to press refresh on this thing for real. And so I think the prime minister is going to get more of a supportive tone around him at the cabinet retreat, because that's his government. But the caucus is going to be a different story.
Okay. Lori, thank you as always for joining us. Much appreciated.
Thank you too. Take care.